After the Geneva Conference held in Geneva, Switzerland in 1954, a set of agreements called the Geneva Accords was created to settle issues of the First Indo-Chinese War. The agreement called for Vietnam to be temporarily divided at the 17th parallel and for the French to withdraw its rule. With no central government after the expulsion of the French, the leader of the Democratic Republic of North Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, took over.
Ho Chi Minh quickly seized the opportunity to rule Vietnam when he saw the power vacuum created by the Geneva Accords. Ho implemented new land reform policies that abolished rent and seized land to redistribute. These policies resulted in social and economic turmoil.
Sau khi người Việt Minh bắt Bắc của mình, mấy người bị nạn đói. Khi người Bắc kiểm soát nạn đói trở nên tối tệ nặng, tại vì mấy người lấy cái đất của mình á, lấy cái đất của mấy người khác nữa. Chứ sở hữu mấy lúa, canh đồng lúa, không biết sự lúa hoặc thăm chỉ các loại cây trồng dặn nhắc, mấy người không có biết làm. Tại vì mấy người không có biết sửa lúa đó, mình có ít đồ ăn hơn.
The Viet Minh in some cases executed wealthy landlords or sent them to labor camps. The local agricultural reform tribunals decided who should face execution or work in labor camps in each village. Catholics and French sympathizers were also executed too. The conflicts of North Vietnam pushed 1 million people to flee from North Vietnam to South Vietnam.
I was a priest for a local Catholic church, but Ho Chi Minh didn't like us because of the church's Western influences. When I heard the news that many famous priests and clergymen were being arrested and never to be heard again, I knew something was wrong. Immediately, my family and I packed our bags and we boarded a French ship to head down south.
The Viet Minh saw many Catholics as enemies due to their association with French colonial rule. In addition, many members of the Catholic Church were notorious anti-communists, the reason for Ho's Catholic persecution. Ngo Dinh Diem, president of South Vietnam, provided land to northern Vietnamese refugees, who were former landowners and mostly Catholic. Tension arose in South Vietnam because Ngo Dinh Diem himself was Catholic, and southern Vietnamese citizens felt they were being treated unfairly.
President Ngo Dinh Diem gave us refugees land. However, I could never truly practice my faith. The Buddhist majority despised us because they felt the president himself favored us because he was Catholic too. Whenever we walked outside, we had to keep our heads hanging low. And even going outside was a rarity. We had to stay at home as much as possible. And because of that, I never really felt our neighbors truly liked us.
The influx of many northern Vietnamese refugees caused instability in the south. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, the Cardinal Francis Xavier Nguyen Van Thuan was imprisoned in solitary confinement for 13 years. The cardinal was a nephew of Diem until he was murdered by the Viet Cong.
During the Second Indo-Chinese War, despite the instability of North Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh still strove to improve his country through strengthening his military. The Ho Chi Minh Trail was constructed through Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia to transport weapons, manpower, and supplies to the Viet Cong, also known as the National Liberation Front, to the south. Because of the Ho Chi Minh Trail, Laos and Cambodia became targets of the U.S. military. Ho Chi Minh attempted to build an industry for Vietnam, but was conflicted about seeking help from the Soviet Union or China. Because of the Cold War, interrelations between the Soviet Union, China, and Vietnam were fragile. Ho wanted to seek help from the Soviet Union, but because of the Soviet Union's conflict with China, Ho was hesitant. China provided the majority of North Vietnam's support, and Ho did not want to do anything to prevent China from providing North Vietnam with the necessary supplies. Ultimately, Vietnam's industry failed because of the economic burden industrializing placed on the government.